Okay, here we have on the bench the Fisher Royal Electra Model 23R stereo tuner and amplifier. This is a 1968. This model was originally released in 1963, and I think it ran up until 1968 or 69. As you can see on the IF cans, they're all dated 1968. This is made in the United States with RCA brand transistors, and our capacitors are Mallory, whatever you call them. So this is before Fisher was Japanese. And this is the kind of stuff that I like to work on. And our complaint here is that the tuning coil is, quote, pretty stuck. And I can confirm that. I can just barely move it with my fingers, but it's really hard to get to. It was stuck at 94.5 kQRS in the Twin Cities, because that's where this came from. And it seemed to have been tuned there for its entire life. And it has a lot of hours on it. So I was wondering if this was some sort of studio monitor for 94.5, or else, you know, in a store for the music, for like the store, you know, the background music, whatever. Another problem that this unit has, as you can plainly see right now, the case is completely missing. Didn't even come with the case, so we're gonna have to build one. I've already tested this unit, and it does work as it should, aside from the tuning condenser thing being stuck. That's the only problem with this unit. Sounds great, but it's stuck. Check that out. There are some foreign components in here. West Germany. Isn't that wicked? But first, let's take a look at this. Wow, those are our output transistors. Very cool. It looks like I see the Twin Peaks down there, so these are Motorola's. There are lots of West German parts in here. Very interesting. It's a mixture of American and West German parts. What a weird concoction. We do have another set of transistors there. I bet one is for the front and one is for the backup speakers, because this thing has two sets of speakers that it can output to. So that's pretty cool. Those are Motorola's as well, just not in the germanium package. Remote speakers, that's the word. As you can see on that transistor, or transistors down there, they're RCA's. So, I've been sitting here just kind of manhandling the poor thing with some pliers. It is marking it a little bit, but it hasn't been hindering it from working. And it's freed it up a lot, that's for sure. It is working way better than it did before. It's just a matter of that old grease. It's just got to get out of there. But you can't quite actually turn the tuning thing with the knob yet. What's turning is just the slack in that wheel. But it's getting better. Got that Bluetooth antenna. Doesn't even need to touch it for the reception to improve. Bluetooth antenna. Well, as soon as it started to loosen up with the pliers, I stopped using them because I didn't want to chew it up too bad, and I really didn't. I ended up using some PB Blaster, letting it soak by tilting the unit up like this, so then it was kind of soaking those gears down in there. I cleaned the PB Blaster out, of course, and look at that. Turns. But now every time you use it, it's going to leave PB Blaster all over your hands, so I'm going to have to do something about that. But it turns, and that's what counts. As you can see, the little banana slicer tuner is in fact working. So that's cool. Back here again with the 1968 Fisher. Now I'm kind of working on the cabinet part of it, and I did some kind of rough cuts here of 4 panels for the case, and I threw it together and it seemed to fit all right. This is just kind of a proof of concept. I'm making this out of some used subfloor. Not used like already cut up subfloor, some extra stuff. That's what I mean. And it seems to fit pretty well. And then once I sand these down, as you can see, one side is already polyurethane. That was from before. I'm going to sand that off. But once I'm done with sanding, then I'm going to use a walnut finish for it, which is, I think, about correct for what it would have had back in 1968. So without further ado, let me sand these down and then I'll see you then. I'm just trying out some finishes on the inside of the case, on the bottom section, and I tried out my walnut here, and it's actually dark walnut. It's a little darker than I wanted, so I think I'm gonna try to go with this pecan down there. And while I was searching for finishes, I found this way at the back, down in the basement, in the big cabinet that has, you know, finishes and stuff. And this is Never Dull Magic Wadding Polish. And this is from 1941. Wow. Pre-war. And here we are. Here's what a heavy coat of the dark walnut looks like. This is what the pecan looks like, and this is what a light coat looks like. I think I'm gonna go with a light coat of the dark walnut because it kind of brings out the wood grain. The pecan looks good, but it looks a lot like how the bottom of this is with just the polyurethane. So why would I even sand it if I was just gonna stain it basically the same tone? So I think I'm gonna go with this. If I change my mind, well, I have a sander with me, so yeah. All right, yeah, looking at this, I think I made the right decision. That looks pretty darn good. Well, from afar it doesn't look so bad. From up close it doesn't look terrible. Obviously it's not actually together, they're just resting on top of each other. So it's not tacked down or anything. So this is not the final product as it will look once it's all together, because I mean there won't be like a gap here or here and stuff, and this won't be all cupped out or bowed out, whatever. So yeah, let's try to throw it together. Well, here we are with the somewhat final product of this rendition. I might redo this if I really care enough. And it went all right, as long as you don't look too close at it. At least I followed the kind of rule of thumb for wood graining, but it is what it is. Certainly better than an open chassis, I'll tell you that much. Anyways, this system should make a pretty good little backup or side unit. So yeah, thank you for watching.